recording.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Municipal Accountability Review Board Subcommittee of the Town of Sprague. Today is April 28th. The time is 12:33. And I don't have any opening comments this morning. Christine, do you? Ms. Shaw?
I do not, Ms. Kennison. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, all.
And the fourth item on the agenda that we need to address will be the approval of the minutes of March the 24th subcommittee meeting. Can I get a motion? Thank you, Sal. Thank you. And could I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mark. Any discussion? I hear none. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Minutes have been approved. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is to review and discuss the possible and possibly take action on the fiscal year 2023 recommended budget from the city of Sprague, or the town of Sprague, excuse me, not a city. And do you, First Selectman, do you want to get started? Is there any, I don't have any questions on the actual budget. I'm prepared to start to look at the 5-year plan, but do you have anything that you'd like to update us on? I think we've already gone through this budget once before, and we also have gone through the Board of Ed budget. Julian, anything else that we need to add?
Well, so last month, we had an overview of the budget as proposed by the first selectman.
Yep.
And then it went to the Board of Finance. So the Board of Finance did make some adjustments.
Okay.
They're reflected in the revised budget that was sent out earlier this week.
Okay.
And then literally minutes before this meeting started, I sent out a cheat sheet that just itemizes the changes made by the Board of Finance.
Okay.
So the budget that you received earlier this week and the changes that are itemized in that email from 12/28, a few minutes ago.
Thank you.
That is the substance of the budget that will go to a public hearing to be scheduled. I don't think it's been scheduled yet. So you can see, I'll let the first selectman walk through the changes that were made, but I think Sal had a question.
No, I just wanted to say thanks, Julian. I saw the notes just before the meeting started, and you make it easy for us.
Yes, thank you. I missed them. I was too busy talking.
So I'll hand it over to Ms. Blanchard to kind of provide an update on where all that stands.
Thank you, Julian.
The change is that it's now reflecting a $0.25 increase versus the $0.5 that you had previously seen.
Okay.
And there were only a few changes which Julian has itemized in the memo that he sent out. The operational expenses, as before, are still covered by the 36 mils. So the additional funds would cover some of the extra expenses. But the overview was just a small reduction on the resident state trooper. There was a small increase on medical expenses because we received an update on that. And then a reduction on the contingency and a reduction on our budgeted transfer to our CNR deficit.
Really? Okay. All righty. So the net change is less 6. Okay. So what are the next steps in this process for the town after this meeting today?
Yeah, the Board of Finance still needs to actually approve the bottom line numbers because
Okay.
they just approved the concepts of what they wanted to see changed. So they need to meet and do that, and then we need to call the public hearing.
Okay. And is any of that scheduled or no?
No.
Okay.
And then after the public meeting or the public hearing, then the Board of Finance potentially makes further revisions based on the feedback they get.
Correct. That is correct.
Okay.
They then reissue a budget that goes to either a town meeting or a referendum for final approval. So the MARB action in May will be in advance of town meeting or referendum. So that if they have a referendum, they're holding a referendum on something that's already been approved by the MARB, as opposed to the other way around, which would be
Yes.
more, more problematic.
Okay.
If the MARB rejected something that had already passed referendum.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, that's a much smoother process, so we know we have all the feedback before we go to vote.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. All right. It's not a lot of changes here. And with the reduction of the trooper, is that just a small number of hours? Is that what you're reducing?
That is, there is supposed to be in the governor's budget, a modification to what the towns are paying for, fringe benefits. And that was not reflected in the letter that I received of what the amount we were gonna need to pay. So I budgeted the full amount when I initially did it. The Board of Finance would like me to reduce it, in the hopes that there really is gonna be a change that will come from the governor's budget.
Okay. I'm sure you might be a little bit worried about the reduction from the set aside that you are possibly anticipating on the dam, or do you have an update on that dam?
I don't have an update at this point, and I told them I would make that reduction with their understanding that they had to know I might have to come back to them for more funding.
Okay.
So they were clear on that.
Okay. And the amount in the CNR deficit elimination, so you're leaving 60, and did they take it down to it was 75?
It was 75, yes.
Okay, very good. I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Right, and we have reduced it by 150 currently, so that, yep,
For this year.
for this
And
year,
that-
right.
And that was very helpful.
Mhm.
I did see those numbers, and all right. Talk to me about your assumptions in your 5-year plan, please. Or all of us.
We did, we assumed a 0 grand list growth because we're going through reval and we're not sure where that's gonna go. Sometimes it goes up and down and washes itself out. The $500,000 increase each year going forward.
Yep.
Flat on the, state aid versus, well, except for this year, an increase for the ECS. And then, salaries, we did 2%. And then, after that, were town hall employees, we did 1% and 2% for their public works, because that's in their contract.
Okay.
Averaged some 7% increases for health insurance. And education, we did 1.5%, barring, we're gonna have to do, if there's changes, we may need to modify.
Okay. Superintendent, are you fine with the 1.5%? I think that's was in line with the original plan.
From my understanding, the Board of Finance did not cut us. We came in with a 1.6.
Okay,
But that goes down with the increase in the governor's budget for ECS. So it'll be, if you take that increase, the net is really a 1.34.
oh, perfect.
And for this year's, but for the 23 budget, they are in for 1.6. That did not get reduced, you are correct.
So should the 23 be reduced with the adjustment to reflect that?
I think it'll be reduced by the ECS funding. So the
Right.
expenditures will stay at the 1.6. It's going to be offset by the revenue.
So, but you haven't loaded the revenue, is that what you're telling me?
The revenue is loaded. It's just the net increase for them is going to be under 1.6 when you net out the revenue.
Okay, but the revenue is not recorded. Is it in the Board of Ed? Or is it in the town?
It's in the town.
It's in,
not
okay.
the Board of Ed.
I just want to be clear about when, okay. So that's why you're saying the Board of Ed is recorded at 1.6 and then the ECS is coming in, and that's coming into the town. All right. And so the net of the two will be the 134. Okay.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any questions from the board members? I hear none. Oh, Mark, I'm sorry.
Quick question. Do
I hear
assume-
none. I didn't see.
Am I to assume then that the May budget will incorporate the changes regarding the governor's budget? Because obviously it's tentative until they fully vote on it, so we're making suppositions, but the question I have is, will the actual budget that you have voted on or will vote on, will it be the one with the accurate numbers from the state?
If they've been finalized before we go to a vote, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I have to say, when I compared your numbers to the 5-year plan, you weren't, the pickup that you got this year helped the fund balance at the end of the year. You want to bring to the attention to the board the transfer that was made before the audit got closed, so that we can then talk about the fund balance?
Sure.
I know we're going to talk about audit later on, but at least this way it's an impact to the budget.
Right. We, before closing out the audit, we were at a higher fund balance, and so we transferred $150,000 from the general fund towards the deficit to offset the CNR deficit before closing out the audit, still leaving us with almost $400,000 surplus.
347. Yep. And it's in the plan that you're going to continue to pay that down for the upcoming years. I'm trying to find the line item for that, to be honest with you, in the budget.
Yeah, it's on 7370.
Are you looking at the 5-year, or are you looking at the regular, or are they both the same?
Probably be easier if I look at the 5-year. Hold on.
Okay,
I think it's on page 5, Ms. Kennison.
thank
It's
you.
on page 5 toward the bottom.
Oh, under miscellaneous?
Yeah, 57, 534, line 534. Bank.
It's, on the 5-year plan. On the 5-year plan, it's on
No.
page 4 or 5 on, line 457.
Page 4 or 5?
4.
Okay, I'm on the wrong page. Thank you.
And we did that. We wanted to make sure that they were aware, both the Board of Finance and the taxpayers, that this is just to indicate that we are planning, where it's in our plan that we are paying down this deficit regardless of what happens, if we finish the year and we don't have a surplus, you know, we had to spend it on a special ed student, whatever, that no matter what happens, we're budgeting for this.
Correct.
So.
And that's prudent. That's prudent because you need to get to have no deficits out there in any of your funds, and then you will be off and running. And increase the fund balance.
Right.
So this is actually this audit that closed. I know I have audit on another line. Any other questions though? I know we have audit to talk about later. I always go there.
Yeah, can you direct me to the line item which tracks the fund balance for each of the years, the projections? Because I see it referenced as, you know, against revenues, you know, in terms of transfers, but is there one line item that I should be looking at?
No, sorry. Usually we have a separate sheet that we have, but we haven't done that. And a lot of times Julian and I will do that. Julian does it. I don't think we've done that for this year yet.
We do have
It's
that in
just-
process, so, that's your assumption sheet that has everything, right? Yeah. So we are working on that. You should have it for the next meeting.
The summary with the assumptions.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, this is hot off the press. We pushed everybody hard to try to give us the 5 years at the same time as the budgets this year, and we appreciate your effort and your hard work for doing that. I know it's a big.
Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, because you know this is it's a good sign, and it also helps when you're starting to take a look at it instead of just falling short, right? Plus us getting the budget and we were able to look at it last month.
The other consideration is that the FY21 numbers are just now being finalized, and so the baseline for making all of the future fund balance estimates kind of we had to nail down FY21 to be able to get good.
Yeah, we haven't presented that, Ms. Shaw, to this group, their audit yet. That hasn't come forth yet.
Thank you.
We're going to put that on the agenda for the next meeting. Subcommittee. Thank you, Julian. Go ahead.
I'll wait till we get. I can wait till we get to the audit. Now it's my turn to jump ahead.
I can't help it, right? I just can't help it. Any other questions about the 5-year plan? Superintendent, anything you want to add about the Board of Ed to this discussion, or if anybody has any other thing that we want to touch upon?
The only thing I'll add is, increasing just by 1.5 is going to be tough for us over time.
Sure.
I'm fond of saying it's better to be lucky than good. We're on a hot streak, and that's wonderful. I cannot predict. If I did, I'd be rich because I would do stocks, I guess, and bonds. What the future holds for us. We're doing everything in our power to hold down costs, but with inflation running at 5%, 6%, 7%, that's going to be hard, especially when the federal money runs out.
Right.
But that doesn't
Understand.
mean that we're not going to attempt it. So,
Great. If we don't have any more questions, then I am looking for a motion to approve the fiscal year 23 recommended budget.
So moved, Salvaciano.
Thank you, Sal. Can I get a second?
Second, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Any other discussion? I hear none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I need to hear Christine and
Aye.
thank you. And Sal. Sal, I didn't hear your final aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. The budget has been approved. It will move to the MARB on the May 17th meeting that has been scheduled. And do we have any other discussion around the 5-year plan?
Just a comment.
Yes.
Really, a budget plan is a work of fiction, and I guess everybody just attempts to make it as close to the reality as possible in the future. It's another way of saying I hear what the superintendent is saying.
Right.
Yes.
Sometimes you throw the dart and it hits the board, and sometimes you get the bullseye, and sometimes it falls right off the board.
Yeah.
I'll also add that, you know, the Board of Ed is appreciative of the work that the town did, because the town took the hit this year, not us. And we are, this has become a great partnership between the Board of Ed and the town. And, you know, we're looking at ways to save money together. You know, in many towns that doesn't exist. And, but, you know, I have to really commend the first select woman for, you know, the work that she does. She's very easy to work with, along with the Board of Finance has been great. So right now, it's a great partnership and a great relationship, and we, the board wants that, the Board of Ed wants that to continue.
Yes,
Because that's not the way it always was here, so.
I understand, and I do commend this partnership. And you know, you had 2 years of deficit, and then you have already working together. You now have a profit, and this is your first year of a profit in the audit, which is just it. I'm already telling the secrets, but I can't help it. I can't help it because I feel like I'm part of the team, and I know Julian does too, as we're, you know, work hard with you, and as well as this board. So we appreciate it, and we want to see this success. You know, this is great news. So can I get a motion on the 5-year plan?
So moved, Salvaciano.
Thank you, Sal. How about a second?
Second.
Thank you, Christine. Any other discussion? I hear none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. All right, the 5-year plan has been approved, and it will go to the MARB. Next item on the agenda is to discuss and get some updates on a few items. The first being your policies and procedures. And go ahead.
That was
First
adopted
Selectman.
by the Board of Selectmen at their last meeting, so we're all set and ready to go with those.
Great.
And thank you for your help with that, and
Yes.
we're really happy to have that item taken care of.
Well, that falls right into the next item on the agenda, which, and I want the board to be reminded that those policies and procedures, Melissa, help me here. How long have they been out there? They have been out there over 5, maybe 7. How many?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, over 5 years of reoccurring findings, and they're exactly the same every year, which is not good. So this will help you all the way around. And I want to thank the Board of Ed also for participating in getting these policy procedures updated, Michelle, because I see that you're on.
Thank you.
And So this is the first time, right, that you have had no audit findings.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if you have any management letter comments or anything that have been provided, but at this time, did you hear of anything else from your auditors in your closing meeting?
There were just a couple, there were a couple of comments.
There were a couple of comments. One was water and
Okay.
sewer. They wanted them to initial invoices.
Okay. So
And
you
then-
probably get some management letter comments, but not any
Yeah, yep, just a
significant or, okay,
Right.
okay. So you're anticipating a few management letters.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you want to comment on your audit?
I believe Sean from the auditors just finalized and has uploaded to OPM our audit.
Okay, thank you.
So it should be on there.
So the capital non-reoccurring now has an outstanding deficit of about 500,000 that they're looking to pay down year after year. So with 150 this year, that took a good chunk out of that, which is really great. I guess we can move on. Want to give us an update on your ARPA funds?
We have not made any further progress with that. We've been
Yep.
focusing on budget,
Yeah, that's fine.
and so we haven't gotten any further with that.
Okay, we'll hear an update then at the next meeting. Julian, anything else? I have nothing else. Any unrelated business that I'm not aware of, or that the town or the MARB members want to bring to our attention? I didn't hear
have
from
nothing.
Jewel. Okay, thank
No,
you.
I have nothing else.
Okay,
If there's no further business, I believe a motion to adjourn is in order, and I so move.
thank you, Sal. Can I get a second?
Second.
I'll take Christine. All in favor? Aye. All right. Thank you all. Great job. Keep up the good work. And we will see you in May with an update.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Remember
you.
that it's
Stay
a
well.
pleasure to have such an efficiently run meeting. Thank you.